Justin's son spent 200 million renminbi to go to space. After returning, he said nothing for 3 whole days. When he finally spoke, he only said 4 words: "The Earth is moving." At 400 kilometers from Earth, gazing at that blue planet through the cabin window, you will see it like a massive living organism, as if it were breathing. This is real. Since humans first entered space in 1961, more than 500 astronauts reported the same. Returning to Earth, these space travelers almost all changed radically. Some became quiet forever. Some started environmental groups. Others studied human consciousness. How profound is this change? After neuroscientists scanned their brains, they found astronauts' self-awareness brain areas had undergone permanent structural changes, just as if they had been reformatted. They never regained their old mindset. Psychologists gave this phenomenon a name, called the overview effect. But the truly terrifying part isn't the term, but the truth hidden behind it. Every one of us, at this very moment, lives in a giant cognitive cage. And those who return from space are the only ones who will ever escape this cage. Let us turn back the clock to July 1969. Apollo 11 successfully landed on the moon. The whole world was cheering for this giant leap, taken by humanity, but at that historic moment, the second man to walk on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, experienced 17 minutes of dead silence on the moon. Control called frantically, thinking that a major accident had occurred. When he finally responded, his first sentence silenced everyone. NASA cut the live global broadcast. From then on, Aldrin's life changed completely. This hero turned to alcohol and divorced, trying to end his life many times. Until a decade later, he later wrote why what exactly happened that day. He wrote, "When I stood on the surface of the moon and looked up at the Earth, it looked like a glass marble wrapped in a pale blue veil, floating in the boundless darkness, ready to break any time. At that moment, I knew I could never go back. Not that he couldn't return, but never to the self who believed everything had meaning." Life after returning to Earth became a form of mental torture for him. He would sit at dinner, hearing his family fight over dishes, thinking, "I just came back from the moon. I saw the entire Earth floating in the void, yet they fight over washing dishes." This immense contrast nearly drove him mad. Aldrin wasn't an isolated case. In 1968, during the Apollo 8 lunar orbit mission, astronaut William Anders' task was to photograph the moon. But rounding the far side, he saw an unforgettable sight. The Earth was slowly rising over the lunar horizon. He raised his camera, pressed the shutter, and took the photo that changed history. This photograph has a poetic name, Earthrise. When taking this photograph, William Anders' inner world experienced a massive collapse. He recalled at the moment he raised his camera, he suddenly had a strange feeling. He was not photographing a planet, but taking humanity's funeral portrait. Why did he feel this way? Looking at Earth from the moon, your thumb can block the whole planet. 7 billion people, all the cities, oceans, forests, and mountains, were all on a sphere the size of a thumb. In that second, he suddenly realized how lonely the Earth is in the universe. Surrounded by vast darkness, nothing else was. After William Anders returned to Earth, he said something thought-provoking. "We spent so much money and risked our lives to fly to the moon, intent on exploring it. Yet, the greatest discovery turned out to be looking back at Earth. This is the core paradox of the overview effect. Moving further from Earth, the clearer you can see its true nature. And this clarity instantly shatters one's mindset." In 2016, a research team performed brain scans on astronauts and found in brains, the area separating self from world was 40% less active than in ordinary people. In other words, normal brains separate me from the world. But astronauts' brains become blurred at this boundary. They feel as if they are one with their surroundings. This explains why some people say that Earth is breathing. When your brain blends you with Earth, you look at Earth just like looking at your own body. You feel it breathing and moving. After Edgar Mitchell returned to Earth, he did something that no one expected. He sold his house and founded a Consciousness Institute. He said that the feeling experienced in space of the self merging with Earth make him realize how narrow-minded humanity is, and he is not an isolated case. Statistics show that of all astronauts, more than a quarter of them did green or public work after returning. They built foundations and gave speeches, just to tell the people on Earth one thing: we are all in the same boat. In 1987, author Frank White, after interviewing dozens of astronauts, noted the overview effect leads to 3 permanent cognitive shifts. The first shift is that borders disappear. Looking at Earth from space, you cannot see any borderlines at all. Earth itself is a complete sphere, without any divisions. The second change, the time scale collapses. On Earth, a lifetime feels long. But when you look at Earth from space, you suddenly realize humanity is only millennia old. In the 13.8 billion year history of the universe, it is not even a fraction. The third change, the fragility of life. Looking at Earth from space, the most obvious feeling is fragility. Earth is surrounded by boundless darkness and vacuum. No air, no water, and nothing at all. Meanwhile, Earth is like a thin soap bubble floating in this dead silence. The atmosphere is only 100 kilometers thick, which, compared to Earth's diameter of over 12,000 kilometers, is as thin as an eggshell. After the ISS was finished in 2000, astronauts from different regions worked together on it. People with opposing stances on Earth became the best teammates in space. Because looking at Earth from the ISS, you will find that all oppositions and conflicts of interest are things created by humans themselves. Earth itself does not care about these at all. In 1990, Voyager 1, from 6.4 billion kilometers away, took that famous pale blue dot photograph. Earth is just a 0.12 pixel speck of light in the frame. Truly solid with a grain of dust. Present. The next time you feel anxious, argue, or get angry over trivial things, you can picture that image. In the darkness 6.4 billion kilometers away, Earth is just a dim speck of light, and all you care about is on this tiny sphere. This is the core revelation of the overview effect. It is not a psychological concept nor a theory, but a key that can unlock the prison of cognition. When you truly see what Earth looks like in the universe, that lonely, fragile, and unique blue planet, you will understand that humanity truly needs to unite, because we really have no other choice. With commercial space flight rising, the cost of going into space is rapidly dropping. Maybe in another 10 or 20 years, anyone can spend thousands to go up to space and take a look at Earth. By that time, more will feel the overview effect, and more people will realize that we all live on the same fragile blue planet.